Well, first and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rakak Wadash. Next, double honors to the elder apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that are scattered abroad, and for those that are searching out their salvation with fear and trembling before the names of Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. All right. This is Yahweh Shai Nawana. Coming at you real quick. Quick lesson. Comment board response. All right. On the Bishop's Live last night, you know what I'm saying, on the Elder Malcolm's channel. You know, we had somebody, come up, as you can tell right here, called Glockavelli, you know, and automatically just hearing that, you can already tell it's basically going off, you know. Ain't nobody gonna have nothing as far as a weapon on their name, you know, as far as a Glock, all right, and then a Veli, you know, I mean it's worldly, all right. It's worldly, you know. It's the worldly garbage, all right. But then, of course, you know, you look at that avatar to the left-hand side. Couldn't tell exactly what it was at first, you know. Obviously, but we look, you know what I'm saying. We got to check out these comment boards. We got to see who's on there, you know, who's talking garbage, you know, this and that. But also, you know, being circumspect, you know. So I went to his page. All right, so as you could tell, the comment, you know, the shalom, you know, I mean, that's cool, you know. I went to the page, and then this is what you see. You see the South will rise again, right? You got a Confederate flag. So the outer rim of the symbol is a Confederate flag. Then you got a skull, skull and bones, holding on to a Confederate flag. And he himself has got on a bandana that's got a Confederate flag on it. All right, talking about the South will rise again. All right, now automatically that head back, you know what I'm saying? You know, anybody who see that, you know, it gets your blood going, you know. But you got right here, it says bankroll man, you know what I'm saying? It says fear the Lord, Neb and Ra. I'm not 100% sure. All right, but it says Yahweh Bahasham. It's a EM instead of an AM, right? It says Sham, all right, but Yahweh Bahasham, Yahweh Shai. Cash money is U.S. Army. All right. So no, that's completely wrong. So in case it seems like it was a sincere mistake, when you went to the playlist, he only got 2 videos on there. He's got one that's you know what I'm saying, some music, and the other one he's got the elder Salaki Amon Gabar on one of his daily lessons, and it looks like, you know, it's a very new account. Let's say that. But look, you know, just in case, you know, first things first, you know, yeah, we can rebuke harshly, but at the same time, it seems like, you know, he's brand new and doesn't know exactly what's going on. But First Thessalonians, the 5th chapter and the 21st verse and 22nd verse actually, it reads, "Abstain from all appearance of evil." All right, abstain from all appearance of evil, and that's getting ready to start out with these skull and bones, Confederate flag, you know, flying and all this other stuff, because that's not what this is about. You know, it's not about the South coming up again. It's not about, you know, this America's winning. No, man, this is all about Israel. It's all about the Lord getting his when he comes back. You know, he's going to be wounding the heads over many countries, all the kings. He's going to subdue all things. Let's go over here real quick. So let's go back. There we go. So what I put down here, you know, I wrote a message back to him just real quick, you know, because he didn't say anything crazy or nothing like that. So, you know, we leave the shalom up and stuff, you know. But just in case you didn't know, you know, hey, it says at Glockavelli, the South will not rise again, or the Confederate flag on your avatar. You should change that avatar before returning to the comment board. And that's exactly what I mean. If I see you on the comment board again, you're definitely going to be blocked immediately, and you're going to be told to change that avatar before you come back. Now, you know, you've been warned, and now you're being told, you know. But Yeah, let's go on ahead and let's get a couple scriptures real quick because the South is not going to rise again. All right, and all these things are going to be subdued. All right. I'm gonna try and keep this short, quick, to the point. We'll get some edification up out of it, and hey, to anybody who's watching, abstain from all appearances of evil, and that's ridiculous, man. Actually, as a matter of fact, hold on, let's get this real quick. Let's go over to Google, and let's read an AI overview, right, of Confederate flag. All right, it says a Confederate flag is most accurately, is most accurately the battle flag designed by William Porcher Miles and adopted by the Army of Northern Virginia, which features a blue diagonal cross with white stars on a red field. It was one of the several flags used by the Confederate States of America, all right, during the Civil War, but was never the official national flag. Today, the battle flag is a controversial symbol seen by some as a representation of Southern pride and history, and by others as a symbol of racism and white supremacy, particularly due to its post-war adoption by pro-segregation groups. Okay? So, just with that overview alone, yeah. All right. The origin of the flag, the usage of the flag. The usage says while intentionally rejected, or while initially it rejected as the national flag, it was adopted by General Robert E. Lee's Army of Northern Virginia and became the widely recognized symbol of the Confederate military effort. All right, variations and national flag, symbol of segregation. See, the battle flag's association with slavery was revived in the mid 20th century when it was embraced by the Dixiecrat segregationists movement and used in protest against civil rights and racial integration. All right. What's this word Dixiecrat? I'll read that one more time just so that way you get it. When it was embraced, Slovakia, the battle flag's association with slavery was revived in the mid 20th century when it was embraced by the Dixiecrat segregationists movement and used in protests against civil rights and racial integration. Now, what's a Dixiecrat? Dixiecrat, it even has the flag as their symbol, all right? Slovakia. Let's do this real quick. There we go. All right. So, and never mind, what I'm saying? Yeah, you're going to see that in the back, but that's a part of, it's a part of a past. You know what I'm saying? I've got things down here in the man cave, you know what I'm saying? It's a part of a past. All right. But, so here you go, kind of show you this real quick. All right. You see that symbol for Dixiecrat or Dixiecrat. All right. It reads, the states' rights Democratic Party, also oh my goodness, this word's got me. All right. This word's got me, but you know what, you'll see it on the you'll see it if you look this up. It says referred to as the Dixiecrat Party was a short-lived segregationist states' rights and old Southern Democratic political party in the United States, active primarily in the South. Look, the same hateful bird. All right, two wings, same hateful bird. Same hateful bird. All right. Dixiecrat, a short-lived segregationist states' rights and old Southern Democratic political party in the United States, active primarily in the South. And I'm telling you, it didn't start with you Negroes. All right? Funny enough. Let's see if I can. There we go. Make that as tiny as possible. All right? It didn't start with you Negroes. So anyway, let's get to these scriptures, all right? Actually, as a matter of fact, let me try and... There we go. Let's go to Nahum 1. All right? Nahum, the first chapter, and the 7th verse. We'll read around here. It says, the Lord is good, a stronghold in the day of trouble, and he knoweth them that trust in him. But with an overrunning flood he will make an utter end of the place thereof, and darkness shall pursue his enemies. All right, that Confederate flag, no. All right, the Confederate flag, the American flag, any flag flown out of any of this place, which ends up truly just being one of their idols. All right, this is the land of graven images. They are mad upon their idols. There are people that will kill over you messing with their flag and this and that. And hey, man, all this place has got to get it. All right. But with an overrunning flood, he will make an utter end of the place thereof, and darkness shall pursue his enemies. What do ye imagine against the Lord Yahweh? He will make an utter end. Affliction shall not rise up the second time. All right. The south is not going to rise again. For while they be folden together as thorns, and while they are drunken as drunkards, they shall be devoured as stubble, fully dry. Okay? The south will not rise up again. Affliction will not rise up for a second time. All right? Even as it's called a Confederate flag. What does it say? See, that word Confederate should spark something within you. Does not Psalms talk about those that are Confederate? Here's Psalms. Salakia, go back. The book of Psalms, the 83rd chapter, and the first verse. It says a song of the Psalms of Asaph. Keep not thou silence, O power. Hold not thy peace, and be not still, O power. For lo, thine enemies make a tumult, and they that hate thee have lifted up the head. They have taken crafty counsel against thy people, and consulted against thy hidden ones. They have said, come and let us cut them off from being a nation, that the name of Israel may be no more in remembrance. For they have consulted together with one consent. They are confederate against thee. So, there you go. Those Confederate nations and that Confederate flag, yeah, it is a portion of oppression, okay? They didn't give a crap about you blackies and you, as you would call it, you wetbacks, everybody else. They don't give a shit, all right? This is their land. They stole it fair and square. Going back, let's go to 2nd Ezra 15 and 53. The South will not rise again. No. 2nd Ezra 15 and 53. As Elder Malcolm says, this whole MAGA thing, it's not make America great again. It's MAWA. Make America white all over. 2nd Ezra 15 and 53. It says, if thou hast not always slain my chosen, exalting the stroke of thine hands, and saying over their dead, when thou was drunken, set forth the beauty of thy countenance. And that's what happened throughout the slavery and through the pillaging and the taking of all these lands and stuff, as they killed off all these Indians, all right, as they would call Indians, right? But they're not. All right, those are Israelites. They said, set forth the beauty of thy countenance. The reward of thy whoredom shall be in thy bosom, therefore shalt thou receive recompense. Like as thou hast done unto my chosen, saith the Lord, even so shall our power, even so shall God do unto thee, and shall deliver thee into mischief. Thy children shall die of hunger, and thou shalt fall through the sword. Thy cities shall be broken down, and all thine shall perish with the sword in the field. They that be in the mountains shall die of hunger, and eat their own flesh, and drink their own blood, for very hunger of bread and thirst of water. The south is not going to rise again. The Lord is taking over. All right? Obadiah 1 and 15. Let's go there. It reads, For the day of the Lord, Yahweh, is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head. For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been. All right? There is not, this affliction is not going to rise up for a second time. Let's go to Isaiah, and it's talking about those dregs of that cup, man. It's going to be a bad thing. It was given to Israel first, but y'all gotta have y'all's taste too. And you're not just going to taste it. Y'all is going to drink it down without mixture. Isaiah 51. 51 and 19. I'll start reading right here. It says, These two things are come unto thee. Who shall be sorry for thee? Desolation and destruction, and famine and the sword. By whom shall I comfort thee? Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets, as a wild bull in a net. They are full of the fury of the Lord, the rebuke of thy power. All right. So this is talking about Israel, because Israel was drunk too. All right. Israel drank of that. All right. Israel had to go through it. But this is what the point is that it's going unto you heathen now. All right. It says, Therefore, hear now this, thou afflicted, which is Israel, and drunken, but not with wine. So there you go. This is the proof. This is showing you what it's talking about as far as that drink and the dregs of the cup. All right. It talks about Israel and their bad estate. It says, Thy sons have fainted. They lie at the head of all the streets as a wild bull in a net. They are full of the fury of the Lord, Yahweh, the rebuke of thy power. Therefore, hear now this, thou afflicted and drunken, but not with wine. Thus saith the Lord power, Yahweh, and thy God, that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thine hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury. Thou shalt no more drink it again. But I will put it into the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, Bow down, that we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground and as the street to them that went over. You see that? It's going into these other nations. Actually, as a matter of fact, let me get something else real quick. All right, in order to marry to that. That's Deuteronomy. There we go. Dyslexia kicking in, right? Deuteronomy. All right, because that dregs of the cup, that's curses. All right. And what did the Lord say? He said he's going to give these curses over to our enemies. Deuteronomy 30 and 7. All right. And it reads, And the Lord Yahweh, thy power, will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. Okay, once again. And the Lord Yahweh, thy power, will put all these curses upon thine enemies and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee. All right. And that's the real deal. That's the dregs of that cup. Those south ain't gonna rise again, bro. All right. Take that dumbass avatar down. All right. Amos. Amos 1 and 11. And it reads, Thus saith the Lord Yahweh, for 3 transgressions of Edom, and for 4 I will not turn away the punishment thereof, because he did pursue his brother with the sword, and did cast off all pity, and his anger did tear perpetually, and he kept his wrath forever. Okay? Like, this ain't, it's not going down for a second time, man. The Lord's coming back to take over. Obadiah. Obadiah, the first, there's only one chapter, right? But the 10th, I believe it should be right here. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's for your violence, all right? Because they were violent as hell. I'm not even going to go through it, but you can use your own imagination, all right? Go do some research and see what the South did, all right? For thy violence against thy brother, Jacob, shame shall cover thee, and thou shalt be cut off forever. This is the judgment, all right? The South will not rise again. The book of Sirach, let's go there. The 10th chapter. You know, I'm gonna jump a little bit. Just we just want to get to the point. All right. This is Sirach, the 10th chapter, the 3rd verse. It says, "An unwise king destroyeth his people." Look at this place right now. All right. An unwise king destroyeth his people, but through the prudence of them which are in authority, the city shall be inhabited. All right. So the people are just like the king. Look at this place. You know, the queerism going on all over the place. Murder, thefts, robberies, stealing of of each other's women and shit like that. Women misusing their bodies, men misusing theirs. You know, the Lord is, come on, man. Is angry with the wicked every day, man. This place is out of there. The power of the earth is given into the Salakia. The power of the earth is in the hand of the Lord, and in due time he will set over it one that is profitable. That is Yahweh Shai. Okay. Let's go down to verse 12. It says, "The beginning of pride is when one departeth from the from God, from our power, Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, and his heart is turned away from his maker. For pride is the beginning of sin, and he that hath it shall pour out abomination. And therefore the Lord brought upon them strange calamities, and overthrew them utterly. The Lord hath cast down the thrones of proud princes, and set up the meek in their stead." And that's what's coming. All right. It talks about the kingdom is given. Actually, I believe that's in here too. All right. It says the kingdom is translated. Men not furious in anger, they that fear the Lord sure seed. It's all right, you know what I'm saying? But still, yeah, the kingdom is going to be translated because of riches gotten by deceits, all right, and injuries and riches gotten by deceits. But anyway, point being, the South ain't rising again. Neither is this what you would call America. I don't give a shit where it is. Nothing is rising again. All these works will be burnt up. Let's go to Isaiah, the 2nd chapter. Getting ready to close it down. We're getting close here. All right. Isaiah, the 2nd chapter. Let's go at about the 8th verse. All right. It says, "Their land also is full of idols. They worship the work of their own hands." That damn Confederate flag stuff. Where's it at? That's a made up, that's a man-made thing, man. And I'm telling you what, that's bullshit. All right. Their land also is full of idols. They worship the work of their own hands, that which their own fingers have made. And the mean man bowed down. All right. Let's go here real quick. Let's go back over here to the home screen. All right. That's what you're going to be dealing with. You see the screen? The South ain't going to rise again. No. And the mean man boweth down, and the great man humbleth himself. Therefore forgive them not. Let me get that one more time. And the mean man boweth down, and the great man humbleth himself. Therefore forgive them not. Enter into the rock, and hide thee in the dust, for fear of the Lord, and for the glory of his majesty. The lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down, and the Lord Yahweh alone shall be exalted in that day. For the day of the Lord Yahweh of hosts shall be upon every one that is proud and lofty, and upon every one that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. Okay? Those flags, the people, the kings, the princes, all those things upon this earth will be brought down very, very low. First, you know what? Hey, it's the Lord's show. I was gonna go back to Thessalonians, but you know what? I will, and we'll close out on that. All right, because really, I just wanted this to be light, because I don't want to, what I'm saying, deter anybody away, but at the exact same time, check this out, bro. Change that avatar. You're tripping. We're going back to 1 Thessalonians, and we'll close out with that again. 1 Thessalonians 5:22. And it reads, abstain from all appearance of evil. You got to make sure that you are showing that you are on the right side, all right? Or you will be blocked off of that comment board next time, and I assure you of that. If I see you on any comment board, I'll put you on blast, all right? So make sure to change out that avatar. Abstain from all appearances of evil. With that, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory unto Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Bahashem, Rakakwadash. Next, double honors to the elder apostles and to the elders of Great Millstone who rule well. Peace and salutations to the hopeful elect that are scattered abroad, and for those searching out their salvation with fear and trembling before the names of Yahweh, Wah, Yahweh Shai. This is Yahweh Shai Nawana. And until next time, Abaratazah, stay prayed up. Shalom.